because I was a bodybuilder, you know, really, wow, I only like bodybuilding. I think any kind of sports and exercise is a really positive thing. Man, I don't do a lot of weights now because of my injuries. It's not really practical for me. As you know, I do yoga, I do biking, I can even swim now without sinking, you know, because I've got less muscle and everything, more mobile. But I just like exercise. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think I'd be lost without exercise.
It's interesting how you talk about how the lack of information, you know, when you were training in the 80s and 90s brought kind of better results, you know, and the fact that people may be in fear of somebody out there doing more than them that drove them even further. And then the lack of, there was no internet really back then, so you couldn't find the information, and yet you still were able to create this physique that now people are looking at as maybe one of the best of all times.
Yeah, you could find the information in books and magazines, but way much less than now. So now you've got more information on everything, but it doesn't mean all the information is correct or good. So you've got to sift through it. And somehow with more information and more technology and more, somehow you lose the heart, I think. You lose the heart, you lose the work ethic. And guys come to me and they're asking me, oh, you know, what about this carb backloading or something? I'm like, man, I never fucking heard of that, yeah? What is that? I don't know, yeah? It's this and that and this and that. I'm like, look, man, most things are basic, yeah? But I don't care which information you got. Keep it simple, keep it basic. But don't forget this. It's about fucking hard work, man. There's no special this, special routine, special diet, special that can get you out of the hard fucking work, yeah? If you don't like hard work, then really do something else, man, because this is what it's about. And for me, it was about challenging myself, you know? And if it's not difficult, where's the challenge? So that was the beauty of the thing for me. Challenging myself is more than just building the body. It was challenging my soul. It's challenging everything. You know, can override those instincts. I'm fucking starving, man. I want to eat. No, you can't. Like, so it's a test of will as well, through the whole process. So sometimes with too much information, you lose that, you know?
Yeah. People lose sight of that, and they're looking at the Instagram, and they're looking at the quickest way to do X, Y, Z, and they're using the information as almost like a procrastination tool sometimes.
Yeah, or, you know, the 1 month you're going to listen to this guy, and then the next month you're going to listen to this guy. You're going to find your own way. So it's interesting to listen to all these things, but hard work is the core. And people ask me about my training routines, and I say it's not just me, because I know other people, yeah? Arnold, Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. We all do basically the same thing, more or less. The same exercises. I did the same exercises for my back, for this, for legs. Well, when shall I change my routine? When shall I change that? Every 6 weeks? Every 8 weeks? Like, no. If it's a fucking exercise that it works, you don't need to change it. You know, only if you're like, you need to stimulate yourself mentally. Maybe you're doing this exercise, somehow you get stale on it, and you're not getting excited about it. You could change it a little bit for that reason. I don't think there's a physical reason to change. Bench press, incline press, flies. That's the chest routine of pretty much everybody. You know, I didn't like bench press because it was flat bench press, because it put a lot of, for me, my mechanics, it was working more front delt and not so much pecs. So I had to use a low decline or something like that. But it's a small change, flat bench or low decline. It's still bench press, incline press, you know. So we'll do fairly much, you know, little variances, but very much the same things. So don't get caught up in the, you know, the technicalities and the fancy routines and stuff too much. Just keep that core there that's about working, hard working, and challenge yourself. And if you challenge yourself and you overcome, then you feel good, man. You feel good, you know. So just keep doing that, and it builds on itself.
I got a small glimpse into what you're talking about when I went down to train with you in Marbella for the movie.
The little talk I give you about your gun to your baby's head, that's been used a lot, man. I pinched it from somewhere else, I got to be honest. I heard it somewhere else.
For people that haven't watched the movie and they should go watch it, what did you tell me that day?
I told you that your physical output is only going to be as good as your motivation. Yeah. So I just use that as an example because I knew you just had a baby. So I wanted to get inside your head and visualize. I got a fucking gun to the most precious thing in the world to you. And imagine if I'm like, you got to do one more rep or the gun's going to go off, man. I mean, you know, it's not real, but it's just a scenario to create and to like, this is what you need, man. Fucking desperation to push through that last rep, to know where is your limit. A lot of people that come to train with me, I do one-on-ones and so on, a limited amount anyway. And I help people, and I've got my own certification, DYHAT, which is certifying trainers in my method so they can go to wherever they are and correctly. Because a lot of people, I heard people there and they're great, and they're like, Dorian, I've got your video, I've got your book, I've read all the articles, and I thought that I was training like you, and I thought, but I wasn't quite there, because it's a little bit more that you can squeeze out, or there's a little bit more in the technicality of the performance of the movement, like the angle of the body and holding it here and doing it. All these little things add up. So even people that are training on my methods, when they come to train with me, they get a little bit more out of it. And a lot of it is psychological, to say, right, you think, I've got people ready to put the weight down and I got 3 or 4 more reps out of them. I said, look, you did that. You lifted that weight. I didn't touch it, man. I mean, it looked like I was going to touch it if you needed it, but I didn't actually touch it. So you did 3 or 4 more reps. So that shows you're physically capable of doing that. You just did it, right? Why weren't you doing it before? Because you didn't know that you could do it. You didn't know there was some more there, but I got it out of you, and now you know. So now you can take that with you back wherever you're going to go, and you know that you can do a little bit more than you think every time. So just, I'm not going to be there every day shouting in your ear, and like my presence is not going to be there, but you can remember this and take it with you. So.
And afterwards you said to me, you said, yeah, Brian, but that's every day you do that.
Yes.
Every day you go to a place that's so painful, you go into such a visualization that maybe is so grotesque, that gets you into this mental space to push out that last 3 extra reps. And you do it day after day after day.
Yeah.
That's what makes a champion, right?
And it's not just the reps. I mean, hopefully, maybe, when you were doing your Ironman and you're doing the cycling and you're doing the swimming, you took a bit of that there. Like when you feel tired or like, no, man, there's more there, and I'm in control here. Yeah, I'm in control here, not my instincts. You know, my instinct to stop, it's getting uncomfortable. I'm going to override that with this. So, yeah. And with no challenge, you don't move forward. You know, you have to be a little uncomfortable sometimes to move forward. Otherwise, we sit here and everything's great, and don't need to do anything, right? And sometimes we don't like it. I mean, I'm here, and people listen to me like a mentor. But I always think it's important to say, listen, man, I'm not up here like I haven't got all the fucking answers, man. I have bad days as well, you know? Sometimes I listen to myself on London Real. Like, wow, yeah, listen to this guy. It's me, you know? So we're still all learning all the time. So I think sometimes people that are in a position of teaching, they're a bit on a pedestal, and they're like, you look at them and you think, well, everything's perfect in their world, but I don't really think that's so. Maybe one day I'll be sitting here and just levitating and everything's great. I don't know. Maybe on another London Reel. But, you know, it's important to tell people, hey, listen, you know, I won 6 Mr. Olympia trophies. I'm here on London Reel and this and that. But, you know, sometimes I can catch myself slipping. So it's good. I listen to myself sometimes, or some other people, just get some inspiration.
Get some of that energy back.
Yeah, because, you know, it's very easy. You get a negative thought and this can spiral, you know, or you get a positive one and it starts building on itself. So when you get the negative ones, you've got to try to whoop and shift direction.
Yeah, I did use that on my